now we can do our top five tonight. And the top five is in honor of William Bill Post. He was the inventor of the Pop-Tart. He led the team at Keebler and Kellogg to that, brought that along. 1964. Pop-Tarts have been around for a hot minute. Like, wow, what is that? 60 years now? 60 years in the Pop-Tart game. And there was one thing that kind of, I don't know, this is like me being kind of like weird little tiny things stick out to me. And I was reading the article about it, and they had a comment from his obituary where it talked about like he's kind of credited for having invented the Pop-Tart, because Kellogg's came to him and said, this is kind of like what our vision is. Can you make it happen? And the funny thing from the obituary said, at least this is funny to me, because I can't imagine people just walking around just saying this all the time. You could say it like once, but not all the time. But it says, this is a quote from the obituary, says, it's at this juncture that Bill is often credited for having invented the Pop-Tart. The obituary states, to be accurate, however, Bill would say, and this is what Bill would just say, I assembled an amazing team that developed Kellogg's concept of a shelf-stable toaster pastry into a fine product that we could bring to market in the span of just 4 months. And I think that's amazing and cool, but I don't know if he just walked around saying that to people. Or maybe he did. I don't know. I'm being weird. But that's sometimes where my brain goes. That's how it works. That is one, you're not the first person to say something like that, Ninja, about it being kind of a, yeah, like that just, the way that was presented, that slayed me. Because at the same time, though, I'm dorky enough that if I had something like that, I probably would walk around saying that. I like the idea of the phrase, and I think what it was more than anything that kind of caught my eye was the line, a shelf-stable toaster pastry. That, I think I dug that more than anything else. But in honor of the late, great Bill Post, inventor of the Pop-Tarts, 60 years Pop-Tarts have been in the game. I'm going to give you my top five favorite Pop-Tart flavors of all time. So here we go. Number 5, blueberry. One of the original 4, which were strawberry, blueberry, brown sugar, cinnamon, and an apple currant. Those were the 4 originals, and blueberry has stood the test of time and it's always, you can't go wrong with a blueberry Pop-Tart. So that's my number 5 is blueberry, without a doubt. Number 4, cookies and cream. Oh my goodness. A far superior product to, like, some people might slot in like a chocolate fudge here, an old classic. And I absolutely just adore cookies and cream, the chocolate pastry, the cream in the middle, the delectable frosting on it. It's kind of, this is exactly like what Ninja was talking about. This is almost the epitome of the dessert ravioli. Just an absolutely amazing one. And I think cookies and cream kind of hit its prominence when Pop-Tarts had that little push to try and tell you that Pop-Tarts are great if you put them in the freezer. I never really bought into that, and I was never really a big toaster person either, but I absolutely adored a cookies and cream Pop-Tart. All right. They did. They did. Ninja says in the comments there, put them in the freezer. Yeah, there was a push for a while about freezing them. That was a thing. Look it up. Number 3, brown sugar cinnamon. Oh my goodness. Another one of the original 4. The brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart is, and honestly, I didn't know it was one of the original 4 until I read the article about these, but it makes sense that it's been there from the very beginning, that it still kind of stands kind of on that top, on the just right at the pinnacle of Pop-Tartdom. There's just something about brown sugar cinnamon that is just spectacular. The frosting, the brown sugar cinnamon is one that I don't mind doing warm. They are pretty good warm. Some people tell me that they're even better if you warm them up and then, take a little butter to them, get a little butter on them. That's what I've heard. Could be amazing. But yes, number 3 is the brown sugar cinnamon. You hate the brown sugar cinnamon? Oh no, I'm with Yuck Dum Boo Bum. Oh no. I love the brown sugar cinnamon. But let's move on to number 2. Cherry. I'm going to tell you right now, before I even start talking about cherry, man, it is hard to find uniform pictures for Pop-Tarts. I did the best I could. And I maybe could have put it in the machine and chopped the pictures, but you get what's going on here. But cherry, I have loved, for some reason, cherry is one that stuck with me ever since I've been a kid. And the cherry Pop-Tart is the king of the that genre of blueberry, strawberry, cherry. It's an absolute glorious Pop-Tart. It's been there for a hot minute. Yeah, I definitely prefer it over obviously you haven't, maybe, you never know what number 1 is. Well, maybe I'm giving away secrets, but number 1's not strawberry. There, see, Copland, that you're on that right there. It has that may be exactly true. Is what it is that the frosting on a cherry Pop-Tart is the best of all the Pop-Tarts frostings. And it's not even close. It's just it's like Copland. Bold is a great word for it. It's a very it's strong. It's a little bit like some of them, like the frosting's kind of a little too plain. I wouldn't say it's cherry flavored. Yeah, it's definitely it's got the sugar sprinkles on it. It's spectacular. Cherry Pop-Tart is amazing. I'm actually surprised, Yuck Dum Boo Bum, you've never had one. But yeah, if you haven't had a cherry Pop-Tart, get out there and get one. Because sometimes I think it's slept on, and sometimes I think people do understand. But no, number 2, easy, cherry Pop-Tart. And then number 1, if you're a fan of this show, of this stream, you know this is my favorite Pop-Tart. I used to put pictures of it on the stream. I had an empty box of it just sitting here because I wanted people to know it existed. I wanted people to go and buy it because it was amazing. And for whatever reason, Kellogg's, there's been tons of Pop-Tarts that have come and go. So I understand. But my absolute number 1 all-time flavored Pop-Tart, Fruit Loops. It's Fruit Loops, and it's not even close. It's not even close. This number 1 standing above all the rest. The Fruit Loop Pop-Tart does an absolutely 100% perfect job of encapsulating the flavor of Fruit Loops, which unlike Skittles, which isn't a flavor, but people go, this tastes like Skittles. I'm like, Skittles isn't a fucking flavor. But Fruit Loops is a flavor. Every single one of those rings is the same flavor. And this Pop-Tart, when you bite into that, you're just awash with Fruit Loopness. And it's definitely a smell. That's the other thing. You snap it open and just before you bite it. Oh, the Fruit Loop Pop-Tart was the best. The cereal one they have on the shelves right now is Apple Jacks. And the Apple Jacks Pop-Tart, it's a sad replacement for Fruit Loop. Sort of like how I feel like Cracklin' Oat Bran is their biggest secret kind of like weapon that they need to be pushing more. Fruit Loop is a flavor that Kellogg's needs to start instituting into more of its products. Frosted Mini Wheats should have a Fruit Loop flavored Frosty everything. But nevertheless, Pop-Tarts, the best Pop-Tart of all time was Fruit Loops. And I'd love to hear from you guys what your favorite Fruit Loops are. Oh, shit. That's not what I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you guys what your flavor. I can't fucking talk. I'm getting emotional. Bill Post is gone, man. He's gone. And I'm getting emotional. I just was going to say that I wanted to hear what your favorite flavors of Pop-Tarts are in the chat.